As most of you will be aware, last year, the 24th January,
the Adani Group has decided to hit back against its critics, particularly those hailing from Kenya. Among them, whistleblower Nelson Amenya, the lone wolf who boldly exposed the alleged secret deal between President William Ruto and the Indian conglomerate, now finds himself in the eye of the storm.
So I'm very mindful of my security at the moment because I have received death threats, and I know they're very serious because they're from very reliable sources.
Remember Nelson Amenya, the man who shook the corridors of power with a single expose? Well, he's now facing a heavy legal blow, courtesy of Saini, one of the key masterminds behind the controversial Adani deal in Kenya. Saini, determined to silence the whistleblower, has slapped Nelson with a court order, case number MCCC E4794-2024, demanding an immediate halt to publishing, circulating, or even whispering any information about him on any platform, whether it be social media, mainstream, radio, or even smoke signals for that matter.
Yesterday I received at my door, though I wasn't there, I received a notification for some documents that were sent through Whistleblower Justice. It's like a process server in France. Yeah, so they were sent by some lawyers who were procured by Saini.
But this legal lashing wasn't just confined to Kenyan borders. The court order followed Nelson all the way to France, where he resides, landing right on his doorstep. The message was clear: stop talking or there will be consequences, serious consequences. Nelson, however, isn't one to be easily silenced. Responding to the gag order, he defiantly remarked on his Twitter account saying, "Gag orders, how can you stop someone from speaking about matters of national importance and public interest?" He wrote through his Twitter account while sharing a copy of the letter.
I'm very mindful of my security at the moment because I have received death threats, and I know they're very serious because...
But this isn't the first time Nelson has hinted at an impending storm. After blowing the lead off the Adani Ruto deal, he revealed that he's faced multiple threats on his life, forcing him into hiding. The whistleblower's revelations had drawn the attention of the Adani Group and even powerful politician figures. Senator Richard Onyonka even went on record stating that the Adani Group had declared a war on Nelson after his expose sent shockwaves across the nation.
Is that he has found some people who are following him in France, and we have been talking to some people to create a safe haven for him so that he can be siphoned out of France. That's how delicate and personal this matter is to some of us. So, CS, I would like to, if you come across any of your friends who have been participating in this thing, tell them to leave Amenya alone. Tell them what we are trying to do is discussing issues about either we accept that Kenya is going to be a country of public good or is going to be a country of private good.
Now, Kenyans on Twitter rallying behind Nelson Amenya are vowing to keep the noise level at a deafening high until President Ruto backs down and halts the controversial airport deal. The alleged move to lease out Kenya's only international airport to the Adani Group for a staggering 30 years has sparked outrage, with many interpreting it as an attempt to sell off a national asset to foreign interests.
I will start with asking the CS, do you know somebody called Saini?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. How do you know him?
I think he's in the health industry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Would I be wrong if I said that Mr. Jayesh Saini is the one who has actually been given the transaction of managing our SHIF, which is the new development out of NHIF, because he's the owner of Nairobi West Hospital, and he is the one who is actually been given the complete system of the financial management of the SHIF system.
Point of order. I would want, Senator, we restrict ourselves to the mandate.
Chair, I think you're wrong.
No,
you're wrong, Chair. There's a reason why. You have to allow me to interrogate the matter. You must allow me to interrogate the matter to its logical conclusion.
Let me explain.
Then you can make a ruling.
And when you get out of the rail...
I am not. There's a relationship between the corruption that is happening with the Adani deal and what Mr. Jayesh is doing.
Because
so, Mr. Chair,
Senator,
don't get keep for him. Please don't.
No.
Point of order, Chair.
Don't get keep for him. You are going the wrong way, Chair.
Senator Onyonka, just 1 minute, please.
Yes.
Chair, it is quite possible that there is somewhere that Onyonka...
There is a nexus. I'm trying to create the nexus. Allow me to make my case.
Senator Onyonka, allow him. Just let me explain something, Chair. It is possible that there is somewhere that Senator Onyonka is driving at.
That is where I'm going.
Just
allow me to go where I'm going.
Senator Onyonka, you're out of order.
Yes, he's not listening. And I'm trying to correct.
SG, I am telling you now, you're out of order.
No, Chair, can
Chair,
you protect Senator Onyonka? Because if now Senator Sifuna invokes the power of being an SG, he might chicken out from pursuing a
No,
very
I am on the
interesting
I'm on the
line.
mic to just guide the
Yes,
chair.
yes.
I was saying it is possible there is
No, point of
somewhere
order, you cannot
in
guide
terms
the
of
chair.
in terms of nexus, you allow him to, and I don't want to use this aviation analogy. Let him land the point. Let's see where he's going with it. Just give him a little bit.
I was
Play.
afraid of getting out of context and losing Kenyans, because the issue you're dealing with is the issue of the airport, JKIA. So I thought he has lost his
Chair,
his
I am
thoughts
giving you
by
the
talking
next,
about health.
There
You
is
know?
a nexus. No,
I was just trying to bring him to the
allow me to set it up.
Okay, now ask your question.
The question I'm asking, I asked him, does he know Jayesh Saini? He said yes. Allow me to interrogate him.
Continue. You have a
Thank
minute.
you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
CS, would I be wrong to say that Mr. Saini is the agent of Adani in Kenya? The answer is yes or no. It's up to you.
I'm not aware.
You're not aware. Are you also aware that meetings that took place in Dubai where this deal was being discussed, Mr. Jayesh Saini was sitting in that meeting with individuals from the Kenyan government, and I will state here that the person who met Mr. Jayesh Saini in Dubai was Honorable Murkomen when he was the minister in the position you are in.
I am not aware.
Without having evidence that I can prove, but I think it's important that I make the statement that in that meeting that money exchanged hands. And Chair, later on, I believe as we continue, these details should be presented to this House. Lives are in jeopardy. You're talking about 5,000, 6,000 people. Nobody knows what this agreement is. Simplify it. Bring it to this committee. Give them a program. Tell them, look at this agreement. This is what we are looking at. Who would say no? If you come and tell me, like Rwanda, we have resuscitated KQ with 50 or 60 aeroplanes. We have paid the debt that KQ has. You are going to pay our workers who are destitute in that airline, and you are setting up Nairobi to be a hub. Which airline are you going to use to build the numbers that you want? We don't have an airline. You haven't solved the KQ problem. I beg you that this is a matter that Kenyans have taken very seriously. And thank you, sir, for listening to us.
Thank you very much. Let me have Senator Sifuna.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
In closing, Honorable CS Chirchir, I'm sure by now you know that the problem with the government in which you serve is not a communication problem. It is a credibility problem. Nobody trusts this government. And even with your best intentions, you have to work to restore the credibility of the government and public trust in the government that you serve in. Number two, if you can see, the reason why there's a trust deficit is not an accident. Your own minutes from KA, as we have been taken through here, have identified the fact that there are many competing interests, and they have to be vendor-driven interests within government. So Kenyans have every right, Honorable Chair, to be suspicious of this deal. Thirdly, Honorable CS, let me disabuse you of this notion that there are stakeholders in JKIA or in our airports distinct from the people of Kenya. The stakeholders in JKIA are the 55 million of us. You cannot have a small meeting somewhere in a corner, then claim that you have had conversations with stakeholders. Stakeholders in this particular case are the 55 million Kenyans. And the fact that there was a lack of disclosure, and I think the committee will be making a recommendation that we make an amendment to the law on PPP. Immediately somebody arrives at your office, Honorable CS, with a so-called privately initiated proposal. Within 48 hours, you must disclose that that email has come to your email account. Otherwise, you are not going to be able to move forward with this. There are serious integrity concerns with the company itself and, of course, with the government that is proposing to go ahead with this particular project. Honorable CS, you know what happened to the finance bill. You know the sort of furor that it brought about. I can compare the objections to the Adani deal to that where we were with the finance bill. At this particular moment in time, even with your best efforts, and I know you are a very, what is the word? Yes, you are somebody who puts in effort. But I can assure you, CS, it doesn't matter how you explain this deal, the people's mind is made up on Adani. Please, abandon this deal. We will lose nothing. Go back to the position that had been taken by Cabinet as expressed by the then Transport CS Murkomen when he appeared before the Senate, that we will put out an international expression of interest. Let this process be above board. In the development and upgrade of JKIA, this PIP model is not going to be available for the government of Kenya. Put it out there in the public. Let people apply. Let the process be open. Let everybody see what proposals are coming from where. I do not agree that there are not many people who want to invest in this country. The reason why people are afraid to invest in this is because of these games and shenanigans that we are playing within our own governments and systems. We are the hosts of JKIA, all of us are stakeholders, but the people of Nairobi have told me to say no to this deal. Therefore, I want to urge you very strongly, cancel this thing. You will not, even with your best efforts, be able to convince anyone in Kenya today that this is a deal that is above board. Let us go back to public procurement when it comes to this particular deal. I thank you, Honorable Chair.